Okay, so day two is now here, and I do have some notes off to the side so I don't forget to talk about anything. So please forgive me if you kind of see me looking off my screen a little bit. That's just because I don't want to forget anything for you. But day two, what I want to talk to you guys about is you need to think a little bit about kind of the things you might not necessarily have thought of. So, for example, depending on what your business is going to be, hopefully you have decided that. Is it going to be teaching one on one where you just need a webcam, you need a computer or a laptop, you need access to the internet, and you need a teaching type of software? Meaning, are you going to use Zoom or are you going to use Google Meet? Something where you can show up on video and the other person can see and hear you, and you can possibly see and hear them. Now, that's keeping it very simple, okay? I didn't talk about having a fancy background, going to a coffee shop. Well, you probably don't want to go to a coffee shop if you're going to be talking, but I didn't talk about all of that other stuff. This is just the basics. You don't even need a microphone per se, because if you have a laptop, they're typically built in. Or maybe if you get a webcam like I have right there, there's a microphone built in. But if you notice, I have one here. And this is only because I decided to get a microphone probably after 10 years of teaching and tutoring because I just wanted the sound to be better. I was making more money. The cost of the microphone was probably, I don't remember exactly, maybe $500. This is a more expensive one, but you can get cheaper ones on Amazon for $20, for $60. And the sound quality is just that much better. But do you need all of that right away? No, not necessarily. I even purchased a ring light, which again isn't that crazy expensive, maybe $100 or $200 depending on what you get. The ring light is on a tripod because I needed it to be raised up. But do you need a ring light? Not necessarily. If you stand in front of a window, that natural light can come in and that's kind of acting like your ring light. But what a ring light allows me to do is I don't have to be taking videos or talking to students certain times of the day. I could be doing it at 9 p.m. at night and nobody would know. It could be dark. I have no light, but I have my ring light and that's good enough. It just makes the overall setup look more professional. Do you need your own office like I have? No. In fact, when I first moved to Winnipeg, we were in a townhouse and I moved in with my fiance. So I didn't have my own room. We just had a bedroom. We had rooms for the kids, but like there was no other space. So what I did was I just set up a little space in the bedroom. There wasn't a nice background or nice anything. I literally moved my webcam and my computer this way so that people were just looking at a blank wall, not necessarily curtains or the dresser or anything like that, because I kind of wanted it to look not too bad, right? You don't want piles of clothes of laundry in the back when you're teaching somebody. So you do have to think about these things a little bit. But don't worry, you don't need the most expensive webcam, the most expensive computer, the most expensive this, and this. Start simple first. And this is if you're the type of person or you're setting up a type of business where you're going to be teaching somebody something, a service based business, you're talking to people, or maybe you want to create courses of some kind, okay? Because I can tell you if you're going to be talking to people and creating courses, they're going to want to see you. So you're going to be doing videos, right? So start with a laptop or a computer, which most people do have those things. You might need to get a webcam. I am very happy to leave links down below for you. And depending on if the microphone is built into the webcam or not, you might not need a separate one. But even if you do, microphones could be $10, $20 on Amazon, not too bad. You may or may not need a ring light, but you do need a service. You do need a service to be able to talk to people. So that could be Zoom or Google Meet. But now think of it this way. Maybe you'd be okay just using your phone. Depending on what phone you have, that might be fine. So you would just use a phone and maybe you guys could talk together over the internet, maybe over FaceTime, something like that. So you might not even have to pay for something extra. There's an app that I use called Marco Polo, which you can get for free. You don't have to pay for it. I still have the free one where you can send a quick video to somebody. And if they're in your contacts list, click send, and then it sends to them. And then they can send you a video back. So again, that's free. So see, you have these options, but I bet you didn't know about that. And that's why you're here and I'm teaching you. But then you have to think of things like, okay, how are these people going to learn about your product, service, business? How are these people going to know about you? And why would they sign up for you if they don't know who you are? So, this is where you need a platform. It could be social media, say Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or have a website or both. I have both. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook a little bit, but I also have a website. So when students hear of me, typically they tell me they saw a video on YouTube first. That seems to be the most popular, but also Instagram, I would say, is the next most popular for me. So they don't necessarily click to my website. Unless you signed up for this bootcamp, then you would have had to either click the Facebook link, or I'm sorry, not the Facebook link, the Instagram link, but it led to my website, right? So that's why I have both. So, how are students or people, customers, going to sign up for your service or product? So you have to think about that. Is it going to be a website or social media? But then guess what? You might also be thinking of, how are they going to pay you? Right? So you do have to set up for a third party processor. I use Stripe, and don't worry, I'm going to leave the links down below, or PayPal is also very popular. I like to use Stripe because it's integrated with my website builder, Podia, okay? I don't have to use Stripe. I could have integrated it with PayPal or something else, but I've just been using Stripe for so long. What I like about it is, yes, it takes a transaction fee. So there's a fee every time somebody signs up for my course or products, but I don't necessarily pay that. It just comes off of the course or product. So that's fine. So if I charge $10 for something, they might take a $1 fee. Okay, I'm okay with that. That is fine, right? I don't know the exact costs, but it depends on the expense of the course. But everything's kept track of. If I wanted to look at how much income I made that month, that would be in Stripe as well. So everything's kind of easily trackable. And that's very important when it comes to your business and business taxes and business expenses and income, your accountant. Don't worry, we talk more about that later. But start looking into how clients, customers are going to pay you. Do you want them to simply click a PayPal link, pay here, and then it goes right to your email PayPal account? Or maybe you want to set up something a little bit fancier where they click a button and then they pay you that way. So there's many different options. Obviously, cash isn't an option because I don't see people in person. So that's kind of what I do. So think about it. So I guess to keep it simple for you guys for now, what I first have is an Instagram page. But then they click on a link in Instagram that takes me to my website, which I designed in Podia. So Podia. And then how the payments are set up is through Stripe. So I integrate Stripe with Podia. It makes it very, very easy. And through my whole teaching career and online businesses, I've used, I would say, three platforms where I've had websites and they worked great for like 2 years, but then I kind of switched to something else because I needed more features or something easier. And Podia is very easy. You can sign up for free to get you started. And as soon as you sell something, maybe they click a button. That's when you start paying a minimal fee, but it's worth it because obviously you don't have to pay up anything up front. You're signing up for free to build the website. And don't worry, I show you guys how to, and it just makes it easy. So, did you think about that, right? How are clients going to pay you? So, I'm just checking my little paperwork here. And then, okay, and then the next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about and show you guys under day two is, okay, creating your course or product or coaching classes. How are you going to do that? Well, these are going to be in Canva. So you can create workbooks, websites, images. Any of this you can do in Canva for free. It's truly amazing. So if you're just looking into this whole online business thing, you might not have known that was a thing. You might not have known that Canva is a real thing, that you can create all of these amazing things. I want to say 10 years ago, this didn't exist. So it was a lot harder to create anything because you had to use stock photos. You couldn't just create a template unless you used Microsoft Word, but it didn't really look very pretty. But now you can make things look pretty and sellable. So I teach you guys how to do that too. Um, but then what I want you guys to think of, maybe even more importantly, is okay, so you have your business in mind. Now, what are you going to sell? So let's take mine. Okay, so I'm an online business coach. You have all signed up for this boot camp. I had to somehow think, okay, what am I going to sell to my customers, to my clients, what do you guys want to know? Well, you come to me because you want to start your own business. But how did you know I teach you how to start my own business? Well, I created social media platforms, posts on social media. I created a website. But then I have to say, okay, you're going to want help from me. How are you going to want that help? Is it going to be one-on-one? Am I selling a course? Am I selling a product? Maybe a little bit of everything. And that's what I do. So first, think about the first thing you want to create. Okay, maybe it's a template. Maybe, I mean, you can't do this because you're learning from me. You can't teach something you haven't learned yet. But I would create a boot camp, a course where I'm teaching people how to start a business online. Okay, so I need images for that. Perhaps a website, right, for people to click on, or just social media. What am I going to post about to entice people to sign up for this boot camp to start their own business? What would somebody want to know who was starting their own business? Maybe they want to know how much money I make per month. Okay, maybe I'll post about that. Maybe they want to know what I do. Maybe they want to know how I create my logos on Canva. Okay, maybe I'll post about that. So you're going to come up with what you want to do first. Okay, what do you want to sell first? Are you going to sell your one on one classes? Are you going to sell group classes? Or are you going to sell a course? Are you going to sell a template? And then you're going to create that thing. Are you creating the course, the template, this, and that? So you have to think about it. Download those template planners that I have for you. And this can really help you narrow down and how to plan. And then once you create all of that in Canva, you're going to upload it to a website, and I teach you guys how to do that, right? So then how are they going to pay for it? You have to hook up that payment processor, and then that's it. You can launch it. You can talk about it. So lots to think about, right? But see how all of these thoughts have to come first before you actually do the action, because you don't want to say, okay, I'm going to create a course plus a template plus a workbook plus a planner plus this and that, and then you're trying to create 10 different things in Canva at once. Nothing's going to be very good. So just start with one thing first. And trust me, when you start to use Canva, you'll be there for like hours. I'm telling you, because it's so much fun being like, oh, I like this color combo. Oh no, I really like this one. No, I like this one too. So you'll probably have 5 different color combos that you're like, I don't know what my brand colors are going to be. I like them all. And then you're going to have 5 different logos where you're going to be like, oh my God, I like them all. That's part of the fun. But what I can say to you is just pick one for now. You can always change it later, no big deal, and just move forward, because the mistake that a lot of people make is they spend 2 months making a logo. You're not getting paid. What we want you to do is create something nice, launch it, launch your course, launch your product, launch your templates, and you can always tweak them later, right? Sell it for cheap first, because you are still kind of learning all of these things, right? Like, so if you're a fitness coach that's really going to focus on meal planning, okay, you know the meal planning because this is what you're teaching, but you don't necessarily know the how to do the templates, designs, this and that. So you're still kind of learning that. So don't sell your meal planning at, $100 a booklet when you don't even know if the booklet's going to look that amazing, but the content in there is truly amazing. But don't sell it for too high where nobody buys it, but don't sell it for too low either where you're selling yourself short. But don't worry, we talk about prices and stuff as well. So I hope I'm not overwhelming you too much. There's a lot to think about, but have fun with it, okay? Now I'm just double checking my notes again. I think that's basically what I want to talk about in this video. There's going to be a document too for you to kind of read through where I talk a little bit more about like payment processing, setting up a website, all of that, and then I show you guys how to do it, okay? So have fun with it. Reach out if you need any help, and thank you for watching.